gentlemen, I've come to discuss an important international issue with you that, despite its past, has not seemed to get any better, but has in fact seemed to get worse. But before we start, I want you guys to think back to a time in your life or a moment to where you felt that everything was going right, everything was clicking, you were in the situation you wanted to be, you had surrounded yourself with people and family and friends that were going to help you continue to grow, and you just felt fine. Go ahead and think about that moment real quick. So, now that you've thought of this moment, I want you to imagine that the life that you're living is gone. Not so much that it's been removed from you, but you've been removed from it. Now, I know you're thinking this is an uncommon scenario, but in fact it's not. This is a very common scene for a lot of lives that seem to get overlooked, and that's due to the topic of human trafficking. Human trafficking, by definition of the United Nations Office of Drugs, it's the recruitment and transportation and harboring of people by means of abduction, deception, or threat with intents for their exploitation, whether that is labor or sex, or in the worst case scenario, used for organ donations against their will. The International Labor says that there are 20.9 million victims of human labor in today's world. 14.2 million of them are through exploitation, and 5.5 million of those are young children under the age of 18. These are children that they haven't even begin their lives. They haven't started. They're just growing up and beginning to learn the ropes. This is a map given by the Huffington Post. The darker red areas on this map show countries that have high numbers of human abduction. India, in this, for instance, India's, according to the Global Slavery Index of 2013, has the highest number of any human trafficking, numbers of 14 million, which is nearly half the total of the worldwide. In Europe, there's a 1 to 8, which means 1 to 8 of these human traffickers, victims, go through Europe, seeing that they are either transported from there to another destination, or they actually are being trafficked to them to host people. But Europe has done a wonders of job to help bring this to an end. They've created an anti-slavery day in the United Kingdom. This is a day that helps raise awareness to the public's eye. It's going to help bring this topic and help bring it out into the light. In 2013 alone, the United Kingdom's Human Trafficking Center identified 3,000 potential victims of human trafficking, in which 602 of them were children. The U.S. Department of State helps us, kind of depict country to country and help us determine a good country from bad one. And this is their tier system. A tier 1 country such as ourselves, this is a country whose government fully complies with the Trafficking and Protections Act, which means that we do everything that we possibly can to make sure that we are fighting against this modern day slavery. A tier 2 country is a country that, although they do somewhat follow the rules, they only do the bare minimum. These are countries that need to be checked on consistently just to make sure they're upholding what they say they are. And then there's tier 3 countries, which are countries in Africa or Middle East Asia that don't even comply with these. They do below the minimum standards sometimes and don't make a significant effort at all. But I don't want you guys to think that this is an international issue. And the FBI shared a story, and I apologize if I can't get as much detail as I want, over a girl, the age of 18, from Colorado. She went out with her friends and a boyfriend that she thought at the time. She went to a party hoping to just have a good time. Well, while she was at the party, she set her drink down. And while she had set that drink down, the boyfriend of the man who she thought she was with slipped something into her drink. Within hours, she had been abducted and she had been sold off to another man, and she was housed in a hotel that she stayed in for months. While she was at the hotel, she was used for numerous inappropriate items such as sexual activity, and involuntary labor. But she didn't end up just in Colorado. At the end of this, she ended up not too far from where we all live, which is in Houston, Texas. So don't think that this is just a topic that is not outside of our domain. This is a topic that we can see just in any other day. The Office of Justice has some final statements that 300,000 children are at risk of human abduction today, whether that's in another continent or if it's here in our own backyard. And then they said that of those, but they have made efforts to try to help it go a little bit better, which is 3,300 potential victims nationwide have been identified and saved. Ladies and gentlemen, this problem shouldn't be overlooked. This is a very serious problem throughout our nation. We have seen similar situations in previous years in slavery, and we were able to overcome them then. Don't think that it's going to be as easy to overcome them now. As our technologies have advanced, so have the different methods of human slavery. We need to take actions now, because if you don't, those whose lives have been affected by it may not see it later tomorrow. Thank you.